the second program I do is I help people. Hey, now you're making money. Now you know how to make money. How about if I show you how to set up your own real estate fund? Not a syndication. Syndication is just one asset. Like you buy an apartment building once, you raise the money, you got to close in 90 days, and it's just you have to sell it within 5 years. A real estate fund where you can actually set up the actual structure. People can give you money and you can go buy different types of assets. You don't even have to sell the assets. You can refinance them, cash out the investors, keep the assets for your family. The investors are happy, you're happy, the local community is happy. And that's, I call it cracking the code on real estate funds. And we have done so well. We're setting up every month 5 to 6 people. And then I tell them in the beginning, if you want to gain credibility, you can actually do something like with me where you set up the fund. I set it up for them as turnkey. Like I discuss with them what they want. I have my in-house attorneys. We set it up for them. And then when they raise money, we can do joint venture together, but with real money. So when they're raising money, I'm with them on the phone. So, hey, I'm with Cherif Medawar, we're doing joint venture. So that's like the next level of how to deal with me. And that's what created credibility for a lot of people that are starting. I even have a gentleman that's doing wholesaling. And he said, the only way it's gonna make sense if I scale this, but we're sometimes buying some of these properties to rehab them because they're so profitable, but we don't have yet the money because we keep putting it back in marketing and staffing and commissions. And now he got in. I have another guy and he set up his own real estate fund with me through me because he didn't know what to tell the attorneys. He said, I know what I want to do, but I don't know what to tell. The attorney said, I'm not going to tell you. I'll set it up. I need 30,000. I'll set it up. But I can suggest for you because I have liability with the Security and Exchange Commission. So he came to me, he saw some stuff on YouTube, and then he called Ashley, my VP in the office. And he said, Ashley, I need to reach Cherif. I need him to help me set up a turnkey fund. And his business is taking off like crazy. There's another guy who has been doing loans. He's been a broker for mortgage loans. And he, coincidentally, his wife was sick and she started watching YouTube videos and she called him over and she said, look at this guy on YouTube. He's setting up people with funds. He's saying you can raise money and deploy that money. So he called the office the next day and he said, I want to talk to Cherif, and we set him up. And now he's able to raise money and do commissions and loans. Like he raises money like at 8%, he loans it at 12 because this hard money, 12 and 14. And he's making float on the money plus commissions. And he's just actually selling these loans after he's done. His business, he told me, if I met you a couple of years ago, I'd be worth several millions today. I've been just making commissions and points on these loans. Sometimes people don't realize their potential until somebody, like what happened to me, tapped them on the shoulder and says, you're at the right place at the right time. You need to do this. That's how it happened to me. And I'm trying to pass that forward. And I've been doing it. And people tell me, well, why don't you just go enjoy life? Go sit by the beach. I agree. My life is a lot simpler now. I don't work as hard because I balance it. I go take trips. I just was 1 month in Europe. But guess what? In Europe, every day we were doing a cruise. At the end of each day, I went on my email and I answered some students. I answered some people that are doing stuff. And it's a beautiful day. And I come back and I go full force. Then I take another vacation. I take one actually at the end of this month. Gonna be in Puerto Rico for some business. I'm doing some training there for the joint venture. People come in and spend a full day with me on the 26th. And the next day we're going horseback riding by the beach. We're going out on the catamaran. And my sister and her husband are coming over, my nephews. And so you gotta balance your life. It's a very hard mission when you get so immersed in what you do. You got to step back sometimes and say, okay, I got to have some fun here, because you come back so refreshed.
You know what? I love that. And I like what you're doing, right? You're paying it forward. You're showing others the way, especially with teaching them how to create that fund. It's, in my mind, it's one of, like you said, it's cracking the code, because when we learn how to gain access to the capital, and then we understand how to identify the deals and we can put the two together, we're putting puzzle pieces together. And I know in my own personal journey, that was something, when that mental shift occurred, it changed everything about everything. And so I love that.
Thank you. Thank you. Well, and it's fun, and it's a symbiotic relationship. I used to just train people and say, okay, here's what you can go do. And I charge enough to cover my expenses because I have an office and staff and we got to book banquet rooms, etc. And then COVID hit and I started doing stuff online, and I saw that's the same impact. Of course, because I had a history of performing, people saw me. I mean, you go on YouTube, you see me with more hair, you see me like, you see, I've been teaching forever. I have a couple best-selling books. One of them called Blue Ocean Opportunities in Commercial Real Estate. I mean, I sell it at $1.99 on Amazon. I have very good reviews. We became a bestseller. I co-authored the book with Steve Forbes. I wrote a blog one time. His office called me from New York and they said, okay, he's writing a book. He loves what you got. Why don't you come over and then we can talk about if you want to have the opportunity to write the whole section in the book, and he will give you, he will put your name with him. And I thought somebody's joking. It's like, yeah, sure. Yeah, you go ahead and send me the tickets to New York. He said, send the email. 2 minutes later, I get an email from Steve Forbes' office. I flew to New York. I spoke at the Marriott Marquis. It's actually on YouTube also. And, you know, had a whole afternoon with him and he loved what I wrote. I wrote about how the 12 steps to make it in the United States, whether coming in as an immigrant, whether a young person starting, how to build the credit, how to actually learn, how to get a job in the beginning, to learn certain skills like how to communicate, how to sell, how to partner up with people. And it's good to work with big companies like I did. I worked Century Plaza. I learned that there are systems, there are ways to communicate, and how networking is so important. Because what you need is knowledge. You need to take action, relentless action. Okay. And number 3, you need to network. Because if you don't network, you don't have the allies that will show you the shortcut. You're going to be just going a long way for everything. And there isn't enough time to do that. And the network is what's going to lead you to the next level, which is now I know I can join venture with somebody. Now I know I can set up a real estate fund and people can join me. And I really offer people what I wish somebody offered me when I started, because Baysari, the billionaire I worked for, helped me a lot, sending me do things and demonstrated how it's done. I didn't do joint ventures with him. He didn't, when he did the deals, he didn't heavily participate in profits or in any returns, but he was a phenomenal man. And it's one of the most impactful people in my life. I owe him so much. He passed away in 2016 in Monaco, in Monte Carlo, Europe.